Hello out there, Revere, and welcome to our Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today we have a special young guest, and I do mean young. He's only 21 years old. His name is Angel Arroyo-Sanchez, and he's with RevereTV 8. Welcome.
Hey, nice to meet you, Morris.
Now, Angel, how did you ever get a name like Angel? I mean...
it's been my dad's name. It was my grandfather's name, and then it passed on my dad, and then it passed on to me. And I guess I'd be Angel the Third.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
That's good. Now, Angel, I got to start with you because you're the only one here.
All right.
By the way, Angel, ¿tú hablo español?
Un poco.
Poco?
Sí.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Nein.
Nein, okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know one word.
Hey, helps.
Yeah, and before 9 comes 8, and after 9 comes 10. Okay.
Oh, I bet that joke gets used all the time.
No, I just started. Okay, Angel, I got to say this to you. How long have you been working with graphics and videos? And by the way, I hope they put on that graphic that you made for us because it's a terrific graphic.
Oh,
so
thank you very much.
If you can push that graphic on there, we'd love to see it and keep it on. There it is. Angel, tell us about that.
So, like the question you asked, I've been working with graphics and video editing when I was in college, after I graduated high school in June 2011, the following year after in 2012, I was interested because, I love entertainment, that's what I was growing up with as a kid, and, it's been a dream of mine to get up there to work with video games pretty much, and now that I'm getting closer, I'm going to keep, getting onto the path, and then a thought came in my head, why not my own video game show? And I've been basically upgrading, getting up with my talent with the graphics and video editing, and I worked really hard on this logo, and it's very...
It's beautiful. I got to say it's beautiful. It's one of the best logos I've seen around in a long time.
Hey, thank you so much. I thought it really catch the eye, the colors.
Yep. How long did it take you to make that logo for me?
When that happened, the whole idea of the show pretty much was all actually from last year, but some feelings came around here and there. But to continue with my dream, that's what kept making me to hang on and keep going down the road. And then this came off the top of my head, and I was just experimenting, and this is what I came up with.
I believe you had a question for me, a couple of them you'd like to ask me?
Oh, definitely. So
this is the first time anybody has reciprocated, but that's good. Go ahead.
So, Morris, do you have any kids, and what do they do for careers?
Well, I have 3 kids, 2 daughters. My son got killed, so we'll leave him out. One of my daughters is a nurse. She's a registered RN. And the other one used to work for the telephone company, but she now works at the Logan International Airport, part-time. And my granddaughter, Lindsay, was in a bad car. Well, she wasn't in a car accident, but she was also graduated from the South Carolina University of South Carolina. And she was standing outside talking to her friends at 2 and 3 morning during a break, and a car plowed into her. So she's completely disabled now, so she has not been able to work for over a year.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Yep. So that tells you part of mine.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And
I also have 2 granddaughters and 3 great-granddaughters, so you know how old I am without giving my age. I'm not going to tell you that I'm 85 because I don't want no one to know, because you're only 21.
I'll make sure that nobody knows, okay?
Okay. Very good. I'm going to hold you to your word.
I'll make sure, lock it in a safe.
Right. Now, by the way, I still got to say that's an excellent job. Now I'm going to ask you question number 2.
All righty then.
And if I missed any questions, feel free to correct me.
All right.
Or add on. Yeah. What is your dream job? What is your dream job?
Like I mentioned earlier from the first question, my dream job really is, besides to work with entertainment, I've thought of my own stories. I've always wanted to work with entertainment, as you know. I want to be a story writer. Maybe run my own company for entertainment someday. Big dreamer, and I think to get to the way that I want for my dream goal is do it differently than the other man did. I was always, a loner than a follower. And that's what I've pretty much been with all my life till now.
Angel, I hate to break the news to you. I'm exactly like you.
You've been a loner too?
Yep.
Yeah, I never been one.
I found out I get things done better when you do them alone than to have people behind you that may hinder you.
Yeah, exactly. And, friends I've learned they come and go as well. But, I've got to keep holding on to my dream. I can't give up now. I still got a long ways to go.
I know. And, Angel, I got to say one thing to you. Make sure you get a good education, because whatever you have up here, they can't take that away from you.
No,
so remember,
no way.
And that goes with you the rest of your life. So make sure you finished high school already, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to college, by the way?
Yeah, the college, that's another one of my plans, pretty much.
Let's hear about that. No, don't be bashful.
All right, so I was in a college, but unfortunately it had shut down. But, I didn't give up on my goals. I want to go back to college in order to have a plan B in case my plan A doesn't work. But pretty much plan B is to set in motion so I can keep working my way up with plan A.
Very, very good. Now, you want to ask me a second question that you wrote?
Oh, definitely. So
I don't know who's the host here, you or me, but go ahead.
Maybe we can both do the show someday.
Exactly. Hey, by the way, when I retire in about 15, 20 years, there's an opening right here for you.
Oh, I'm going to sign up right for it.
And we'd love to have you, Angel.
Make sure I'm going to be first in line.
Go ahead. Question number 2.
Now, I know you didn't say that you're 85, and I know I'm going to keep it to myself,
right,
too.
And no one else is supposed to know.
All right, they can't know about that.
Right.
So, have you done a lot of things in your life to say that you're happy that you've done?
Yes, I'll tell you what I did. I'll be very brief on it, because we only got today. Okay. No, I finished my high school. Then I tried to get into the service. I was too young, so they threw me out. And I don't mean because I was bad, because I was too young.
Yeah.
And when I turned 17, I went back into the service, volunteered. They didn't have to come looking for me. I came looking for them. And I was shipped overseas during the occupation of Germany. But we're going to do a show about that. And we're going to have students coming in from the Wakefield Vocational High School who wanted to come in and talk about veterans. And we got some special veterans from the city of Revere, World War II. Not Korean, not Vietnam, because God bless them. There'll be shows about them because these are World War II veterans. And they say we are the greatest generation, but I always say every veteran that served our country is from the greatest generation.
Oh, yeah.
So if you tune into our shows along the way, you will see what we did. Not only yours truly, but the other World War II veterans, because we're dying out at a rapid rate. Most of us are in our middle 80s, high 80s, and some are in the low 90s. And we had a gentleman, maybe you knew about him, or maybe you might have seen him on the TV show, Mr. Sal Santoro, turned 100 years. He came down to our senior center today, and he's as frisky like he was 80 years old or 70 years old. Sal, sometimes I don't believe you're 100, but I know you are. And God bless you out there. Okay?
And definitely I, support those veterans.
Right.
God bless those
And
veterans.
I salute every veteran, and so do you.
Definitely.
Okay, question number 3.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to get you down on this one. Now that you're 21, am I right so far?
Yep, 21, wild and crazy age.
And, and you're an adult. How has the real world felt like so far since you grew up?
I mean, now that I'm 21.
I hope you're 21. Go ahead.
I mean, so 21 now, from high school all the way back to middle school and to kindergarten and all. One of the things I've experienced with people with the real world is, if you want to be happy, always keep a smile on, even when people try and put you down.
Exactly.
That's what I've always been like. I've never been one to, be in the mood, the shutting down mood. I've always wanted to be that cheer up guy and that guy who cheers everyone up. So even now, even when many things, new feelings come by me that I'm confused about, I'm learning that it's definitely great that I'm, growing up, learning new feelings, becoming a man. And it definitely is touching when you get older, and you know, not many people. Everyone, when you're a little kid, you look up to getting older, and then when you graduate high school, it's like, dang, I wish I was still a kid.
By the way, when I was your age, I was already married.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I got married well, I've been married 64 years. So I'll let you do the math.
Oh, dang.
And I'm 85, minus 64, 21.
Wow.
Well, I got married at 20, just over 20. But when I go over 20, I always say I'm the next year, because I hope to make it till the next year.
Oh.
Okay? I keep saying that. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have any other questions for me? I'm sure you did.
Oh, I do. I got plenty right here.
Good.
So,
let's have the next one.
so question number 3 from me is, so technology and many things have changed from back in the day till now. What do you think about today's world as when you were a kid a long time ago?
Okay, let me tell you. When I was a kid, we didn't have the tablets, we didn't have the computers, we didn't have the smartphones, because I don't know how to work any of them yet, okay? What we had was an abacus with the numbers.
An abacus?
Yeah, that was like a little machine, and it had little balls on it, and you multiplied like 1 to 10 to 20, and that's how we did it. Then, as I went to school later on, we had what they called the slide rule. I don't know if you've ever seen one. It was an approximation. It was like a little slide rule. It had the logarithm on there, and you had to guess approximately to the nearest 100 or 10, depending how big the numbers were on the slide rule. That's what we used when we went there. So it wasn't like you have it today. We had trick books with trick functions, books that were this thick. So if you wanted to look up something like, let's say, the sine, cosine, tangent of an angle, you had to go to the page, and you would look under 36, if it was 36 degrees, 21 seconds, and 60 minutes or whatever. That's how we used to do it in the old days. Then they came out with a calculator. That did only multiply, divide, subtract, and add. That was the first one, and that was around maybe close to 1970. And believe it or not, the first one that I remember looking at, and I worked for LeMaisure Associates, which is located in Cambridge, an engineering firm. And Mr. LeMaisure, I don't know if you're around today, but I want to thank you for giving me a chance. He was a professor at MIT in engineering. So he owned a company, but he also taught engineering at MIT. His name was, I think it was Bill LeMaisure. And they were located on Mass Avenue. And I went to work for him. And there was a gentleman that came in there selling calculators. And this calculator had all the trick functions, so you didn't have to use the books anymore.
Yeah.
And I asked him how much they were. Well, the very first one I remember was like $700 for a calculator. Now you can go into the dollar store and buy the same calculator for $1.
Now that must be a shocker
right
there, too.
Yep. And when I was young, like today, you go to the movie. I think movies today were like, I don't know what they cost today.
Today, movies got to be, if it's just an adult, it's like $14.
For a show?
And even for a kid right now, it's about $7 or $8.
And how much is it for one as old as me?
It should be free for you, I say.
Okay. Hey, talking about me, I got to tell you, I went to an antique show. You know an antique show?
Yeah, that's when it's a lot of old
relics.
relics.
Ancient antique show. 3 people bid on me, believe it or not. Okay?
How much did they bid you for?
I don't want to mention it because they'll be insulting.
You got to be careful. You tell these people how much you're worth, they might be coming down here for you.
No, they won't. As a matter of fact, they may want to bet on me. So, Angel, that's what it was like my days. But we could buy a lot of stuff cheap. Gas was 11 cents a gallon. A loaf of, no, I mean that literally. Loaf of bread was like 8 cents. A dozen eggs might be 18 to 20 cents. My father, when he came into this country, was only making $12, $13 a week, 30 cents an hour. That was in the early 20s.
Was that the minimum wage back in the day?
I don't know if there was such things called a minimum wage in those days. I really don't, because I wasn't around there. I was born after.
Yeah.
Not before my father, after.
Not before your mother either?
No.
All right, I got to make sure. Okay. Who's older?
Okay, that was question number 4.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I'll leave let me ask you a question.
You want to ask me this time? All
sure.
right, I'll slow it down.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, at my age, you got to slow me down.
No fast here.
I got 3 speeds, by the way: slow, stop, and reverse.
What happened to steady?
Steady is gone.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any advice for people in schools now who are looking to do the same thing you do?
For any advice, really, So what I'm right now is a graphic designer, a video editor, a cameraman, After Effects. I'm kind of the whole package right now.
Let me ask you, how long have you been doing this? I mean, approximately.
I think right now, wow, since 2012 when I first started. Now
So it's 2 years, about a year and a half ago.
Almost, but I'd love to say it would be 3 years, but you know,
Well,
to get to the level where I am now, most people are thinking, oh man, that guy probably took 10 years doing what is right here on the screen. But really, if you want to get really good at what you really want to do, like this right here, it just takes a lot of spirit, a lot of the focus. You know, some people really make some things everyone wants to do harder than it seems. And I know
Right.
you've definitely seen people try and make things harder than it seems when it's
Right.
not. I mean, for me personally, my advice would be, guys, if you're looking to do video editing, graphic designing, definitely you want to go onto websites like deviantart.com. You want to study about more on the graphics, and believe me, it's not so hard, like a hassle and all. You guys just got to really put your heart into it, just like everyone else does with all arts, movies, music. You can't have the entertainment without all the heart put into it. Everyone knows that.
Very well put, Angel. Very well put. Before we continue, Angel, since we lost those two firemen and we're honored them today.
Definitely, I want to honor them too.
Yeah, this flag was donated by the Revere and Police Fire Department. And we usually give this to veterans, military veterans. But for what you do for the veterans on RevereTV, what you do for this veteran, we would like to present you with one as a appreciation.
Thank you so much.
Appreciation.
God bless America, guys.
Right,
Greatest
thank you,
country.
Angel. And thank you for what you do.
Hey,
okay?
Anytime.
Now I got a question for you. I'm going to skip one here. Some people out there have quotes or mottos. What are some of the quotes you like? But before you give me your quotes, I like to give you two of mine.
Definitely. What are
and
yours?
I have two great ones. One is by President John F. Kennedy, who said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Number one. Number two, you probably might never heard this or remember Winston Churchill. You ever hear it ring a bell?
That does ring a bell.
He was the Prime Minister of England during the Second World War. And his biggest quote was, never was so much owed by so many to so few, because there was a few people that defended England at that time, and they were the last stronghold in Europe against Nazi Germany before America and Russia got involved in the war. Russia didn't get involved till June of 41, and America didn't get involved until December of 41 at Pearl Harbor. But between those two, before that, it was England all alone after France's defeat that held out. So I thought I'd let you know about those quotes. Now I'll listen to yours.
That's definitely interesting quotes, actually. Yeah, I never really heard of that one.
Well, you didn't see. I learned from you people, and you learned from me.
Yeah, I learn something new every day. That's the motto as well. So I mean, one of my favorite quotes. One of my old favorite childhood heroes has to be like Bruce Lee. I'm sure you're familiar with Bruce Lee.
Kickboxer.
Well, not exactly a kickboxer.
Karate?
Karate martial artist.
Okay.
Well, he wasn't, just any martial artist, just one guy looking to get a spot on the movies. He gave out a lot of wisdom. And besides doing what he loves doing best and expressing his martial arts, he loved to also give out what because the guy, he was born and raised with martial arts, but he also was really into monk. So Bruce Lee, I mean, there's many quotes I can think of right now, but there's not one that I can just shout out right now.
Okay, give us another one then. Do you know any other one? If not, I got a good thing for you.
There's a lot of quotes right there that I'm trying to think of right off the spot.
When it comes to your letters. But have you got a childhood hero? I do have one when I was a kid, but I want to hear yours first.
When I thought of first, I always thought I want to be my own hero. Like, I want to be that man that I've always wanted to be. But I think some of my childhood heroes have to be like my mother. Even when times were low, she kept her head up. And that's when I was in my 21 age. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, when I was in college, but that had shut down. But I, still kept on the road. My mother, she never gave up on us. So, you know, I didn't want to give up on myself. And then there's my dad as well. Even when times have been tough for him, he still kept a smile on for my birthdays, you know, Christmas time, even on holidays. So, you know, that's the other, I guess that's my other favorite motto, is always keep a smile on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who my heroes were? I'll tell you. I had a lot, but I'm just going to mention 3 to you. You might have heard 2 of them. I don't know if you heard the third one. When I lived in New York, my 2 heroes were Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig when they were playing for the Yankees. I'm sure you heard of either one of them or both of them.
I know Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
definitely.
he was a chubby one. And Lou
Now,
Gehrig,
doesn't he own that candy bar, Baby Ruth?
no, he's the one that ate it all. That's why he looked like okay. But they named the candy bar after him.
Oh, all right.
But my military hero as a kid was a kid, well, not a kid out of Brooklyn. I think he was 24 or 25. His name was Captain Colin Kelly. And on December, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on December the 7th. So on December the 8th, he was flying out over from Hawaii, and he happened to spot the Japanese battleship called the Haruna. So he asked all his passengers that were in the plane with him to bail out. And when they bailed out, he crashed into the Japanese. So I believe he became the first suicide bomber, if I could use that word loosely, in the Second World War on the American side. He gave up his life to save the crew that was with him because the plane was already on fire, so he let them bail out, and then he went right for the ship. Yeah, that is my hero.
That's a hero.
Just like
right
the firemen of today are my heroes.
Definitely. They're my heroes, too. A
Right.
sacrifice should never go unnoticed.
Right. So I want to thank the families of Michael Kennedy, the families of Ed Walsh, and God bless you all. Okay, now we still got a little time left, so I got another question for you. We talked about it. Yeah, do you have an entire plan yet to reach your goal? What is your complete plan to reach your goal?
All right, so I got to bring out the whole blueprint. Let me see if I got it
Yep,
here.
we got about 5 minutes left. You got your blueprint here?
Oh, no, but I guess I'll be more
got
than
it up
happy.
here?
I got it all up in here. So the main blueprint I got for me right now, so college was the plan, then it had shut down, but I kept my head up. I'm very glad that I came to RevereTV at the time when that happened. So that also kept my head up. So the other motto, I should have mentioned this earlier, was I like to put whatever I learned today to use for tomorrow. Because I always want to learn something new that I always want to use and put that every day. So definitely the plan has to be, after RevereTV, which I still want to be with, you know, it's in my heart. It's like a family here now.
It is.
RevereTV,
I agree with you. We got some great people here.
So I want to definitely get the Plan B in motion to basically Plan B is to get another career while still pursuing my dream for, you know, a career with entertainment.
Before we finish, excuse me, that beautiful logo you made, the logo you saw at the beginning, remember you asked me about if I made that logo? I did not make that logo.
Are you sure?
Positive. Let me tell you who made it. A gentleman that does work on TV, Sergio Leone. I asked him to do a logo for us.
Yeah.
And he came up with that idea, which I think is one of the best logos I've seen for the Veterans Show. So Sergio, if you're out there somewhere in Revere, thank you. And on behalf of the veterans, thank you. And especially on behalf of the city of Revere, thank you. Now look, we got about 3.5 minutes to take. You take 2.5 and leave me 1 minute and say whatever you want to. It's all yours now.
So I know this is kind of a big question right here to ask you, Morris, especially. But
you're asking me? Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So is there any chance you would go skydiving or do anything crazy still at your age?
Such a skydiving?
Yeah.
No, I gave that up 84 years ago to begin with.
Ah.
No, I'm afraid of heights. So let me tell you, I found out as you get older, you don't have the same equilibrium that you had when you were younger. That's why you see a lot of the elderly people, they fall, they get hurt. Now, some people think I drink a lot the way I walk. But that's just natural. No, but that's just natural from being old. No, the reason, well, you asked me if I was an alcoholic, and I told you I wasn't.
All right.
Okay? The reason I took up drinking was to forget that I'm an alcoholic. That's the reason I took that up. So I wanted you to know that. So now you got that story?
All right.
Okay. No, do I have any hobbies? Yeah, I love music.
Oh, who doesn't love music?
I love World War II history, and I love all American history, but I'm not good at the like the early American history, like around the Revolutionary times.
With George Washington times?
Yeah, I wasn't around then, and that's my problem. I can't wait around. So it's from World War II on, when I was a kid. I mean, we just studied like the Constitution and the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Spanish-American War, the Civil War, but not in great detail as we studied the Second World War. And the reason I can say that because I was involved in it. You know, I wasn't a combatant soldier. I was on the Army of Occupation. That means we occupied. When the war ended, May 8, 45, and Germany surrendered, they needed soldiers that could speak the language of the German people to get the, well, in those days they had no police force, they had no Bürgermeister, so they wanted us to find out who was in the Nazi SS and who wasn't, so they can give them positional jobs at that time. So that was my job, to interrogate you, for example, and ask you what you did during the time between 1941 and 1945. Not from 1933, when the Nazis first came into power in Germany, but from 41 to 45. That's what we had to ask you. We used to go around to DP camps, and DP stands for displaced person, or displaced people, to interrogate people that were refugees. And I couldn't speak every language that they had there. They had Russian, they had Polish, they had German.
Mix right there.
So we had our own interpreters, and I don't know. I had a lieutenant who spoke perfect Russian and Ukrainian, ironically. His name was Lieutenant Popian. So he was my commanding officer at that time. So we went along with him pretty good. So we got to wrap it up now. So I'm going to say thank you for coming on the show.
Hey,
God bless you,
anytime.
Angel, and good luck to you.
Thank you so
Revere,
much.
for listening. And God bless all the people in Revere, our troops, and our great country, the United States of America. And we got a great show coming up in the future, too, so keep tuned in and watch it. And thank you.